In this video, I'm going to bring you through a case study of one of our clients that generated $264,000 in one single day. That day is actually Black Friday, you might have guessed already, but I'm going to bring you through the entire framework of the ad structure, what type of ad structure that we used, what was the strategy there, the creative concepts, so all the content production phase that we essentially prepared for to generate this result or to help the client get to this number. And also I'm also going to talk about backend infrastructures like email teasers that we were building to build that kind of like scarcity and urgency for this day. And I'm going to bring you through the entire process, so it's going to be a pretty in-depth video. Make sure that you have some time, watch until the end, and I can assure you that it will add value to your business, hopefully. All right, with no further ado, let's get right into the video. Great. So as usual, before we get into it, here are just some numbers and some proof. November 29th, we did $264,590, and let me just refresh so you know this is a real result. And this is what the client generated. Of course, we did not. Although we generated a pretty decent portion of this revenue because of course we're in charge of their advertising platform. Their social media, right, their content production, and their email, right? Of course, it was not only because of us that they generated these results. That is of course an obvious. And if I have to be honest, like, we are never the only reason why results are being generated. It's a mix between us, maybe other teams, and of course the client, and all the forces all put together. Okay, so this is just one very quick case study of. I'm going to bring you through, as I said in the intro, like pretty much the entire process or where we spent our time, so you kind of know that. And then, you know, the good thing about this client is that even the day after, like, it was a pretty healthy day. I think we crossed over 200,000. So like, even if it wasn't, if Black Friday was over, we still generated over $200,000 in revenue, which is really, really healthy for the business. Okay. And so, yeah, so far everything is looking great. Let me just jump on the other side so that we can explore a couple of things. I'm going to share several different things with you all. Okay, let's get into it. There we go. So as you can see here, there's a bunch of things that I want to share and go through. There's many different things that I have on the list, but for the majority of the video, I'm going to talk about these three principles, which is where we spent at least over 80% or not to 90% of our time. I would almost debate that it's 100, right? So, you know, we're going to talk about ad account setup, so you know exactly what was the structure of the ad account. I'm also going to show you the ad account itself because we did spend over $20,000 in just one single day, and I'm going to show you what type of return that we got. And the structure of the account. I also have a diagram here to show you. And then the creative production process. Where did we spend our time? How did we decide to go with what type of concept and what reason? What was that reason? What was the decisions that we took? And also the email strategy. This is really, really important. We generated over 22 or 25% of revenue for the entire month, but also for the entire day, just coming from email. I think it was even more, like 30%. Because like these holidays where we're going all in on sales and generating revenue, it's, you know, a big portion of it is actually iterating on things that are already proven to work, which is good. And I'm going to talk about it later on, but also just doing retargeting and leveraging your existing audience, right? If they had zero audience, you know, maybe, of course, this is possible. Anything is possible, but we definitely would not have scaled to, you know, this number. Even if I have to be honest, like 70% of buyers were still first-time buyers, right? But they were building a pipeline. We always build pipelines here. Okay, so let's start with the ad account, and then I'm going to bring you through the structure. Let me switch over to the ad account over here. There we go. So this is essentially the ad account. Hopefully you can see it. Yeah, let me just try to zoom in maybe a little bit. But yeah, so for the day of the 29th of November, essentially Black Friday, we spent $23,000, $23,549 basically, with a 3.97 ROAS. And so this number is inflated. It's a bit inflated. It's more like around 3.3 around there, so still a very good return. And so we generated like 93, it says 93,000, but it's maybe closer like 80, 85 85,000 in one day, just purely thanks to ads. And once again, these numbers are a bit overinflated. We actually track most of our numbers on other platforms. I'm not going to get into that, but I'm just going to show you the account because this is where it's, the real where we're spending. And the interesting thing about this account is that the day after, like if we look at 2 days before, we spent 7,000, and then approaching the day before, I think we spent 10,000, right? A decent ROAS. And then we basically just doubled everything. And I'm going to bring you through the framework that we used that allowed us to double, right? Because you can't just double and like wait and hoping things that happen. There's a very systematic process that we utilized to make sure that we increase the budget, optimize the campaigns, and at the same time we were generating, like making sure that we were actually generating the returns that were required for the brand to be profitable in the first place. Because this type of product is they only have like 15% of repeat customers. They're not like a skincare brand, so like first orders really count, and that's why we were scaling with this return. Okay, so the structure of the account is based on like a 3-2 strategy, which is mostly based on creative. So we do CBO campaigns, whether it's for a product or a promotion, whatever it is, we always do CBO campaigns, and each ad set is basically a creative concept. So let me just bring you through the structure that we used. And this, I've gone through this structure already, but just so you understand and kind of see it visually, and let's go over it one more time again. So essentially how we do it is that there's some set rules to follow here, but high level understanding of the strategy is that each product is essentially one campaign. Now, if you only have one product and you're maybe selling in different markets, I would still do other campaigns. Or if there's like a specific promotion where all of your ad sets and all of your angles and all of your creative concepts are for that specific promotion, then I would do another campaign, which is what we did on as I showed you before. There was like, not sure if you saw, but there's like a Christmas campaign, a Black Friday campaign, a standard evergreen campaign. So it was also based on the nature of not just the product, but also the situation, like the country that we were promoting in, and also the holiday, assuming there was a holiday, right? And so this is how we frame it. CBO campaign, I say 150 because that's like the minimum budget for a CBO campaign that I would set personally. So if you're starting out, that's what I would do it. But I wouldn't spend less than this, less than like $120, $150, because then things tend to get quite slow. And yeah, so if budget is the issue, I would also advise you to start with maybe ABO, do like a farming campaign to try to see what things are working, and once you find things that are working, then try to scale them with a CBO with like this structure. Now each ad set is a marketing angle, and I'm going to bring you through also like a very cool process that we created internally at the agency that allows us to track winning concepts so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We know what works, and we can start spending our time and our resources on what is already proven to work. So this is the ad set, and so each ad set we divide, and basically this is the name that we use. So like test number 1, and so we also have product name over here, and then we have an angle, and so this is basically the age, and like turkey neck is like, let's just say this is an example, it's like a demo, but let's just say we're selling like a facial sculptor, and that helps with like skincare treatments and aging. So one angle would be like turkey neck, how to avoid a turkey neck, or turkey neck, sorry. Another one would be like natural solution. Instead of doing surgery, use this product for a natural solution. So these are examples of angles. And then I don't have it over here, but we would also add the creative concept. I'm just going to say creative concept, and then whether it was an image or a video. So image or video. So we would specify whether it's an image, a video, or a GIF. I'm not sure why it wasn't over here, but this is the template that we use. So as soon as we look at the ad set, we know exactly what we have within the ad set, and it's very easy to track. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, but this is how we scale. We don't touch this. We only touch this if we want to increase the budget, right? And this is the structure that we use. Each ad set is either a creative concept that gives us maybe is viral and that we want to test, or a new angle, right? So you can have basically you can do a couple of things. You can basically run a new ad set with a winning angle, but it's maybe a different creative concept, or a completely new angle with like an already existing creative concept that works. What do I mean by creative concept? I basically mean like before and after. Let me just show you. I have like a list over here. Let me actually just show you an example of like some creative concepts so that you know what I mean. So this is like a command center. It's a sheet that we create for all of our clients where we track literally everything. And so these are the angles, whatever, double chin, turkey neck, right? What I mentioned before. And these are all creative concepts like POV, before and after. So one ad set could be like, let's just say this is the winning, these two are the winning angles. So we would maybe like do these two winning angles, and then we would try POV, which we never tried before, AI script, which we never tried before, unboxing, and the AI song, or X reasons why. Like we would basically iterate and launch ad sets with new creative concepts. And so hopefully you got my point. You can also do the same with like different hooks if you want to get even more into the weeds. But this is how we handle this aspect. So you should only focus your time on here and evaluating what how you structure the account on the ad set level, right? Don't be too technical about how to structure ad accounts. Like keep it very simple. Your focus should be 90% of your focus should go towards creatives and marketing angles. That's how it works. Now, I do also want to notice one thing over here. As I showed you before, we basically went from like $10,000 in ad spend to the day after $23,000 in ad spend, right? And with even a much higher ROAS, of course, because there were the holidays. But how did we do this? Like, we didn't just like, there's a specific framework that we use. And so we check the account every couple of hours. The reason why we don't check it every minute is because even if we're spending a lot, judging results on like 1 hour or even like an hour and a half, if it's not at least 2 hours, it doesn't make any sense. We actually do the same thing on a macro level. When we're not scaling, whenever we test something, we let it run for like 2 or 3 days, and then we start looking at it, and seeing what could be the, if we need to do any type of adjustment. Sometimes we even let it run for 5 days. All these things depend on the budget, but in this case, since it was very, very aggressive and it was a very particular day, this was the framework that we used for the day after. So at 6 a.m. of the day of the sale, right, we increased budgets by 30% just to see how the account was doing. And then at 8 a.m., we saw that it was very profitable, and so we pushed it by another 20 to 30%. We did the same thing at 10 a.m., 20 to 30%. You can also go up to 50% if you feel like things are really going towards your direction and are very profitable. You essentially start doing, and I say increasing or decreasing, because sometimes you increase by 20% every 2 hours for like 4 times in a row. So you get to 2 p.m., whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say 4, just at the 5th kind of like iteration over here, you see that the ad account starts maybe taking a little bit of a hit, and you see that the performance kind of starts dropping, and that's when you should maybe adjust, decide not to increase budget, or maybe decrease it by 10-20% in seeing how the account works. This is a very technical process. You need to be an expert at doing this. You need to be good at analyzing numbers, because you can't just look at, the ROI is the most important thing. It is really important, but you also need to be a media buyer. Now, I always like to say, like, you don't need a media buyer, you need a creative team. That's true, but when you start spending $20,000 a day, you need a good expert when it comes to media buying, because they need to know how to navigate through the numbers and take calculated decisions. Okay, hopefully you got my point here. Focus on creative, keep it simple with the CBO. This is how we do it. I'm not saying this is the only way to scale an account, but this is kind of like the structure that works. Ads, I forgot to say, is DTC. Basically, you can do like dynamic creative, or now it's called flexible ads, where you give it three images or videos, 2 headlines, and 2 ad copies. So 3, 2, 2. And then you could let Facebook decide where it wants to spend time. Or the other way is that you can just spend money, so where it wants to spend the budget. Or you can just do 3 or 4 ads at least per ad set, so that you can give it a shot. And then you can decide which ones how you want to combine ad copies and creative concepts, images or videos or GIFs and stuff like that. But in most cases, I think for this account, I believe we did flexible ads. So we just let Facebook decide. It's very simple, and that's how we did it. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Let's get into creative production process. And I'm going to bring you through the exact things that we focused on. And focus is really important. We don't have unlimited time, so we have to make sure, especially in these holidays, that we put our time where it should be spent. And so we focus on 3 things. when it comes to like testing. Winning angles, so we got all of the winning angles that we're performing. So in this example, this should show you a real example of, an example like, if we tested like 6 different angles, we typically test way more. But if just assume we tested 6 different angles and we noticed that double chin, snatched jawline, and turkey neck we're driving 80% of the sales, then we would focus 100% of our time towards these angles. This is how you should approach these promotions, right? Typically, we do it at 80%, 20% rule. So 80%, like considering like that it's an evergreen market, or like not evergreen market, but like you're off season and you're just trying to scale your company and grow without any Black Friday promotion, you should spend 80% of what works and 20% of your resources in your ad account towards completely new concepts, because that's what keeps the ball rolling, and that's how you will find new concepts. But to go back over here, we focused on winning angles, gifting angles, which was typically an angle that we don't traditionally test, because it's like the nature of the product could be a gift, but it's not just because of a gift, it's because of Black Friday and Christmas and all that stuff. So this is always tends to work during these promotional periods. It's of course a given, I don't need to explain why. And then we focused on winning creative concepts, so winning angle and winning creative concepts. So we went over here and we noticed that POV, ASMR, unboxing, image grid, advertorials were all concepts that were winners, and that gave us a very strong track record. Now, the question over here is, how do we understand these things? I'm going to go through the entire process of what we focused on later on as well, but how do we keep track of what is working? Let's just keep this aside for a second. How do we keep track on winning angles and winning creatives? Because this is where the magic happens. You can maybe open up the ad account, but it gets really messy really fast. It's really just a really confusing process if you just do it on the ad account. So we kind of like outsource it to Excel sheets. So let me show you how we do it. We have a sheet called Creative Testing Tracker, and this is just a demo. It's typically filled up, but we essentially, each ad set that we test, remember we have a CBO, then we have ad sets. Each different ad set, as I explained before 3 times already, is like a different creative concept or a different angle. Whatever it is, we track it over here. So one ad set, right? In this example is like test 001. So in the ad account, you would basically go in here and have, test 001, as I explained over here, on the ad set level. And so you go over here and we essentially track everything. When it was launched, what is the product, what is the break even, what was the creative concept that we used, what was the avatar customer that we wanted to sell to, what was the hook, what was the messaging, what was the marketing angle, what was the main emotion that we were inspiring from the ad, whether it was an image or a video, we track it over here. The creative link, the copy link, all these things are tracked. And then of course we have like a mini dashboard, a mini ad account dashboard that tells us, okay, this is live, it's to be determined, or a winner, or whatever the case may be, how much it's spent, and then the metrics like ROAS, CPMs, and all of these metrics are color coded. Take these with a grain of salt. This is just an example. It's like just as a demo. We have correct numbers, correct color codings for all of our clients typically, and then we can create also graphical representations of what worked. So this is just once again a demo, but we also have perhaps graphical representations based on angles, or based on creative concepts, or based on, as you see here, distribution between images or videos, how many tests we made in a month, what is the win rate. All these things you need to be a nerd. Like you literally need to be a nerd. If you're not a nerd with these things, then you just try to hope that you test something and it sticks and it works. You have to be very you have to have a methodology around, and you have to be very precise when it comes to analytics and numbers and studying what actually works. Because what we want to do once again here in these holidays is go all in on what is already proven to work. And this, I would say, is one of the reasons that allowed us to scale to $23,000 per day in this day in ad spend very profitably. And so overall, what works for us is these 2 concepts, UGC plus AI scripts. And I'm going to bring you through how we do it and how we source it, and then image ads. Image ads, I'm not going to talk about too much. You can use, what we do is that we go in tools like Creative OS. I always talk about this. People ask me why I repeat myself in the videos. There's a billion ways to run a business. I'm just going to repeat the process that works well for us, because we use kind of like one process for all of our clients, and it works. You log in and you basically can copy and paste these templates into Figma or Canva, and then it will, like, you can just replace the words, the images. It's very good. It's also like $50 a month, or $100 depending if you also want like landing pages or email templates and stuff like that. We only use it for statics, and there's 2,000 over 2,000 statics, and you can also filter by like what you're looking to do over here. If you want before and afters, if you want featured in type of image ads, and it works very well. Now let me go back over here, because this is really important. How do we scale UGC and AI scripts? It can get very messy very quick. So this is kind of our process. And now how we handle this entire process from A to Z. It's very simple. You partner with content creators. How do we know which partners to go after? We essentially find them, and we have like a huge mega list, which I can maybe show you in just a second. I'm just going to show you a bunch of things. You can UGC base. And yeah, so basically we have like a bunch of different people based on age, gender, ethnicity, skin type, hair type, body type. What are they mostly doing? If they have pets, if they have kids, all these things. Of course, like, you don't have to do it this in depth. We just happen to do it like this because we have a bunch of different clients that we work with, or that we have worked with in the past, and so we filter it also by like country over here on the bottom, as you can see. So this is how we do it, and we filter these people. How do we find these people? You can go on like Instagram or Twitter, like X, whatever. You can go here, and you can essentially just find your persona by typing in the search bar. Whoops. Let's just say UGC beauty Asian. I don't know. And then you go under people, Asian American, whatever. I think it has to load. Bit slow. But yeah, you can find basically all of your people over here. If you don't know where exactly to go. But I would outsource this to like a VA, so that they do it for you, so that they fill up the sheet for you, so that you don't have to worry about it. And then eventually you end up having a sheet that looks something like this, where you have like UGC tracker, and you have all of your UGC collaborations here listed by price, previous work, email, location, and then you have their addresses, and then the final work, and of course you have to pay them. So this is just a tracker that we set up for our clients, so that it's a seamless process. And you can do it for yourself as well. And so going back over here, we find creators. What's really important is to identify what your persona is. So once again, going back over here, we study what angles work, and we also study what are the avatar customers that we want to go and sell to. And so this is a process that works very well, because we want to only sell to people that are much more, or create angles and create UGC videos based on the ideal persona that gives us the best sales. So we identify that. You have to do it for your own brand. You reach out, you establish collaborations, and what we want to do is get as much B-roll as possible, because this, I should add, which is a B-roll UGC plus AI script strategy. So we want B-rolls, as many as we can, so that we can put them together, create our own storyline. And so essentially, as you can see over here, let me show you an example of a B-roll example of what we've done for a client. Essentially, we go in here and we create a document that is like 20-30 pages long, and we create it once, and we create different emotions, so that whenever we send it to the creator, we can just say do B-roll 3, do B-roll 7, do B-roll 11, and do B-roll 14. And we typically ask them to like 15 to 20 B-rolls, so that we can get a bunch of resources. And guess what? The price of that amount is the same as a normal UGC video, because it doesn't cost them or take them too much time to do like 15-20 B-rolls, or just do one full-on, fully edited video. So that's the advantage. This is just much more higher leverage, right? And so you give them this resource, so they know exactly what they need to do, and then you receive the final UGC videos. This should be the final process. You combine different B-rolls with different storylines with AI scripts, right? So based on the script, you choose the different B-rolls. Hopefully that makes sense. This is how it looks like if just for the sake of the example, like B-roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has one script, and then B-roll 5, 7, 1, 2, 8 has script number 2, and this is how we scale. Let me show you some examples of companies that we've actually leveraged in the past, so that you can see it that, you know, we always try to imitate or take frameworks from companies that are either direct competitors, or and if they're not, we're like really taking inspiration from them because they're killing it. But typically they're like direct competitors. And so this is an example of some of a style of ad that we managed to get inspiration from.
If you have pets or kids, you need magic sofa covers in your life. They're super stretchy, easy to put on, and it's machine washable. So whenever you need to clean it, you just throw it in the washing machine.
So as you can see, they're all B-roll. So this is exactly what we focus on and what worked for us. And so this is the type of ad that at least worked for us, that allowed us to scale. Once again, let's take a look at this other example to just have another look at some ads.
These saved me. I needed some light for my TV room, but I really didn't want to call any electrician to install new outlets. That's when I found these amazing cordless rechargeable lamps. No wiring needed.
So just an explanation with B-roll. Once again, really, really insightful. I'm not sure if this is a UGC AI script, but we mostly use AI scripts that are like really, really you can't even notice the difference nowadays. So we just use like 11 Labs or some sort of like AI script app that allows us to do the AI voiceover. Let's take a look at a couple more, maybe just very quickly, just for the sake of the example, because they're over here. This is really important because we spend a lot of time using this tool by funnel hacking everything, and it's a great tool. You can actually also transcribe and do a bunch of things. I'm just logged out right now. Unboxing. Yeah, so unboxing works very, very well. And also after you do the unboxing, you show how the product looks like. This is what we did for them.
PSA, my favorite dinnerware company has now come out with their own line of homeware, and oh my goodness, look at this beautiful lamp. Someone put this in the Modern Art Museum. This lamp is not only 3D printed, it's 100% biodegradable, making the hardest...
You get the point. So we leveraged this framework, and it works well, like a lot for us. At least it gave us profitable ads. I can't speak. I'm out of energy. Bear with me. And so these are the types of concepts that we focused on, and it works very, very well. Hopefully you got some value from this part. I'm going to talk about the email marketing Klaviyo strategy, because this was really, really kind of detrimental when it comes to getting results, because as I told you, I think we generate around 25 to 30% of revenue just literally from these things. So what I'm going to do is bring you through the pre-Black Friday framework, along with kind of like what we did during Black Friday. And then there's also Cyber Monday, which is actually today. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to bring you through this entire process very quickly. And then I'm going to talk about some other things on the end that are super, super important. So first of all, we started with teasers. What we did is that we did a pre-Black Friday deal. You know, you can do it, you cannot do it. It's up to you. But what we did is essentially we gave access, a private VIP access to Black Friday to people that were in our list before Black Friday was there. So on the 22nd, 20 and 24th and 25th, all these days before, except like 2 or 3 days before Black Friday. So at the 27th, we stopped. We basically gave them early access, telling them, you know, sometimes on Black Friday we stock out, or we end up like that we cannot fulfill, or we have to stop promoting. So in order to avoid that problem, make sure that you take action now so that you can secure your spot, and you know, you have our full support, and you can actually guarantee your purchase. And so this works very well. We generated quite a lot of revenue. Like we had some emails that generated like $30,000-$40,000, I believe, in sales from just like these pre kind of like early access deals. And then what we did is that the day before Black Friday, we do a Black Friday sneak peek. So we remind them that tomorrow is Black Friday, and then on Black Friday day, we have like an AM, so 9 a.m. typically, or 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and then we have like a 3, 4 a.m. to like 6 to 7 to 8 p.m. And then we have like a last chance for the day after. And so the day after, which was the 30th, we basically send another email, and this like really, really performed amazing. I think we did like 30,000, an extra like $25,000-$30,000 just from like this email alone. And so this is basically what we do. And that, of course, with this teaser, we send them to like a page that was just dedicated to them, so that it looks special and personalized, which is really, really important. And it actually is. It's the truth. It's specialized for them. People that are not on the list are not going to see this, right? So it's just for them. And then on Black Friday, we just do the Black Friday branding on the website or on a particular page. In this case, it was the entire website. And so what we want to do with these emails is that we want to do also like, we still traditionally do like the entire design to make it like very Christmassy or Black Friday vibes. We actually have amazing designs, but in most cases we keep it short and simple. And in other cases here, we actually, I think one or two of these emails, I think one, this one over here that performed well was just text. It was no design. It was just a simple dear friend, dear Brando, here's the reminder, just text, and then sincerely business owner. And so it works very well because it's not like all the other emails. It sounds and looks a lot more personalized. It's a real reminder, right? And it performed very, very well. And so don't underestimate the power of just plain text emails. You just have to have good copy on them, right? And so then we're going to do the same thing with Cyber Monday. Which is today, we're going to send an email, then in the PM, and then we're going to do another email the 3rd, so the day after, just Cyber Monday extended. We might extend the promotion till the end of the week. We will see. I'm not sure because we really pushed it this year. We pushed it really, really hard. But other than this, what you need to understand is that every single time that we launch and we do it every 3 or 4 months, but especially before we do these long promotions or important promotions, we always clean the list. And so this is an example of a list that looks healthy, that has 100, 200,000 subscribers, but we have like groups of like 20K, 10K, 30K that are just not either like really not engaging over the last 6 months. And at that point, like it doesn't make any sense to send emails to them. So we just clean them and exclude them from our audiences. Or they're bots and they're unverified emails. So we use tools like, I think it's called, my team is mostly doing this, but it's like Million Verifier email, something like that. Yeah, Million Verifier. And so you can basically upload your entire list. It's not expensive at all. And it will like scrape and send you back only the leads, not the leads, the email subscribers that are active, that have active emails that work and that have been verified. So this is really, really important. And you'll see that typically like 20%, 15, 20, 25, sometimes even 30% of the people are just either like bots or like not active emails, or just emails that existed and don't exist anymore, because people change emails all the time, and they do a very good job at actually verifying this. So this is really, really important concept. All of our open rates, click-through rates, conversion rates would actually drop if we didn't do this, but we achieved good results because we were able to like segment and have a clean list. And so this is what I would advise you to do. Always have segments. These are examples of segments. So people that bought once, people that never clicked, people that engaged but never purchased, right? You should always have segments so that even throughout outside of holidays, you know exactly what people to send emails to, and you can increase your deliverability, because if Google or Microsoft, whatever your provider knows and recognizes that people just open your email, people think that people spend more times on your email, they reply, right, they're more engaged, then they will boost your deliverability. So these are the two important things. Apart from this is what we focused on. I hope this video was valuable. It did take some time to do it and prepare. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about either scaling so aggressively, images, ads, content, UGC, anything that you want. Honestly, I'll get back to you in the comments. All right. Hopefully see you in the next video, and bye for now.